white and true, baby. Listen up. Ed leans back in his John Deere cap. Says I don't chase clicks, I just chase facts. Got a Bible by the mic, small town on his back. Reads every line before he hits that track. Ronnie in the booth with a notepad full. Cross on his chain, hard, humble but full. We ain't here to judge, just talk what's real. Taste every word before we serve that meal. Red, white, and true. We stand on what we do. Gotta taste your words before you say them. Cause the truth cuts clean when you lay it. Red, white, and true. We pray on what we choose. If you don't line up with his view, we don't spread it. Red, white, and true. Scrolling that feed, everybody want flame. Pointing at a headline, never read a whole page. It says slow down, son, check that source. Every tongue got power. Pick your course. Ronnie takes a breath, says a quiet prayer. Lord, guard my mouth, let me keep it fair. We talk faith, talk flash, talk the hard news too. But we weigh each word like it's aimed at you. Hey, red, white, and true. We stand on what we do. Gotta taste your words before you say them. Cause the truth cuts clean when you lay it. Red, white, and true. We pray on what we choose. If it don't line up with his view, we don't spread it. Red, white, and true. We ain't perfect, just together. Trying to walk it out, not just talk opinion. You can disagree, pull up a seat, that's fine. But we keep it in grace when we draw that line. Red, white, and true. We stand on what we do. Gotta taste your words before you say them. Cause the truth cuts clean when you lay it. Red, white, and true. We pray on what we choose. If it don't line up with his view, we don't spread it. Red, white, and true.
Red, white, and true, baby.
That's right. We're back.
We are back. We've been away for, well, I guess we did Wednesday last week, so we've been gone for 6 days. We still aren't back to normal just yet, and we're hoping that happens tomorrow. So for those of you that know what's going on with us right now, hopefully tomorrow is the day. Most of the time people pray for rain. We are praying for no rain tomorrow so that the work can be done. What's going on, Ronnie?
Enjoying this warm weather. I thought rolling the 2 windows down in the truck would help. It's not helping. It's hot out here, but it's okay.
It is hot. One of the big concerns I've had since we've been going through these issues is the dogs. Fortunately, we have a generator that's running with fans to help cool them down, but boy, it's still hot in the house.
Yeah, it was warm this morning when I was in there.
I filled the pool up for them, and Amber's about the only one that likes it.
Yeah, I noticed.
The others got a little bit wet where I sprayed them and then went and rolled around in the dirt, and so they had mud caked on their back and had to give them a little bit of a bath. So I don't know if I accomplished anything with that. I think we found during the last 10 or 11 days, however long it's been since May the 30th, that boy, you appreciate things a whole lot more when you don't have them than when you got everything rolling the way it is supposed to and normal. So what's been going on with you? Anything?
Nothing working. I got a testing for a job at Marion County Sheriff's Department Saturday, so say a prayer for me. I'm looking forward to that. Watching the news, watching what's crazy going on in Ireland right now. Did you see all that?
Yes, I've got a little bit about that. We got our friend from Great Britain. She was in early, so hopefully she's still here with us. She's not been around much lately, and she's obviously here. She heard you say you have a job interview. So
thank you. Well, let's start off with a laugh. I found this one last minute, and I'm not going to play the whole thing because it's 3.5 minutes, but I'll just play the first little bit. They're blaming Trump for everything.
Trump's war in Iran is having a devastating impact on sex workers in Sri Lanka. And the reasons why are shocking.
කියන්නේ සමරයි කොන්්ඩෙන් අදයගෙන ඉන්ඩ කැවේ වගේවා එතකොට අපි දැන් ගොඩක්ලා රාත්‍රී කාලයේදි සෙක්සල් කරන්න ගියොත් මේකප් දාගෙන යන ගොඩක් මේකප් ටිකක් ලොකු මේකප් එකක් දාගෙන යන්නේ සමහර මූණ අද කරලා අල්ලනවා මේ මූණ මේම තුල්ලනවා එතකොට ගහන්න එනවා සමහර කෙල ගහන්න එනවා.
I travelled to Sri Lanka's capital, Colombo, where I met trans sex workers, some of the country's most vulnerable residents. As conflict rages thousands of miles away, and as global fuel and food prices soar, Colombo's trans sex workers can no longer afford hormone treatments, are receiving fewer and fewer clients, and are being forced into dangerous work just to survive.
All because of Trump's war, thousands of miles away.
Man, who knew that TDS was all over the whole world in that manner? Sex workers in, what was it, Sri Lanka?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Because of the war in Iran.
Oh.
The bad orange man's fault. The bad orange man. Blame him.
Well, there's been some big news go on later in the day today, and I wanted to touch on, it really would be considered breaking news. The Carmelo Anthony trial has been going on this week. I have a hard time when I say Carmelo Anthony in murder trial because Carmelo Anthony is a Hall of Fame basketball player, but not the one that is on trial. This is a young high school boy. He stabbed and killed a young man, and his defense team portrayed it as self-defense. The prosecution and many witnesses said that it was definitely not self-defense and was indeed murder. The young man that was killed, Austin Metcalf, Ronnie, have you seen any of the videos that happened or were taken right after he was murdered?
No, I haven't.
With his father and his brother. I mean, they are some of the saddest things that you can imagine. His brother was right there. I believe he died in his brother's arms, actually. Wow. There. But now they have found Carmelo Anthony guilty of murder. It's one of the most closely watched school-related death cases, murder cases in the country. The case moves on to sentencing, and as I was sitting here finishing prep for the live stream, I had Fox News on, and they were live at the courthouse, and we're bracing for possible protests.
I'm sure.
They were looking for some really bad things to happen. I hadn't mentioned, and really shouldn't have to mention, Carmelo Anthony is black. Austin Metcalf was white. I don't think either family, well, the Metcalf family doesn't want that to be about race. They don't believe that their son was singled out because he was white. Of course, it doesn't get looked at that way.
It doesn't get talked about that way either. Everything I've seen, it was a murder, and I mean, I don't know.
Even people, they were on opposing track teams, and Anthony was in the opponent's intent getting into somebody's duffel bag. When Metcalf came up and tried to he told him numerous times to get out of here, get away. And he may have laid his hands on him, shoved him, or I think that certainly wouldn't be considered self-defense if somebody shoved you to murder them with a knife.
Yeah.
But even some of Anthony's own classmates, teammates said that he was the aggressor and was the one out of line. From every bit of coverage that I had seen, it was a no-brainer for the jury. I don't think they were out long because closing arguments weren't till this morning. And the defense rested yesterday. They immediately took a break until today. And, two families are hugely affected. One has lost one that will never come back. The other one is facing not the death penalty, but life in prison. And it's just a sad, sad state of affairs.
Absolutely.
Of course, the unrest in Northern Ireland, there was a stabbing that took place, and apparently there are some very horrific videos of the actual stabbing out there. I mean, we got a notification that said, don't show those videos on the live stream.
Don't let Ronnie show those videos. Don't let Ronnie.
Well, he knows you a little bit.
Yeah. Now
I wasn't going to bring that part.
I enjoyed it. So I've got two videos. One talks about the knife attack, and the one talks about what's going on today. And it's not looking good. It's going on right now.
No, it's bad.
Yeah. So here's this guy talking about the knife attack.
Attempted beheading in Belfast last night at 10:30 p.m. on Kinnaird Avenue. This individual was spotted on top of another man who I'm partially blocking out because it's quite graphic. Now he had a box cutter and he was slashing away at the neck area of the victim behind me. Now the victim suffered severe neck injuries, is alive, but in a bad way. It's unclear how critical the victim is at the moment. The police have not released that information. Now members of the public pulled this individual off before the police arrived and have arrested him. As you'd expect, the police have released a statement, very little information, just what I've told you. And just to say, I'm not trying to sound dramatic when I say an attempted beheading. If you saw the video, which I would not advise, it is the motions the man is making when he's cutting is to suggest he's trying to decapitate the victim on the
So yeah, the videos I saw were pretty graphic. It took me a little bit to find something that just talked about it and not showed it. But here is what's going on in Ireland now.
We're just on the edge of Belfast city centre. There are about 100, maybe 150 people who've been gathered here for the last hour or so. Many of them young people, many of them masked, are wearing balaclavas. And you can see there is a fire that's been set in the middle of the road. This is where bins were first set alight. And then because the traffic was disrupted here, you're going to hear another explosion. That's the fourth explosion that we've heard in the last few minutes. And this is what political figures and leaders have been warning about all day here, with the potential of people gathering in response to what we saw last night. That's why the police and the emergency services, as well as political leaders, have spent the day appealing for people to protest peacefully. If they want to gather, they've appealed for calm. But the risk is that with more of these sorts of gatherings across Belfast, across Northern Ireland, that things may escalate. We may see more property burning and potentially a risk to people's safety.
Yeah, that thing burning, I believe it was a tram or a train trolley, something like that.
Well, and that is one of dozens of fires, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yeah. Susan here says allegedly he is now deaf and blind, which I could see. Allegedly, they're now burning HMOs, houses of multiple occupancy where migrants are placed. Yeah, this is another powder keg situation. Coming to a country near you. Susan can agree. There's been a lot of these attacks in England. Now you can't really have a gun in England, but you can have knives, and there's been knives attacks. And unfortunately, we've talked about it several times on this show that it's coming to a country near you.
Well, and beheading is one of the main things they do in other countries. You're right. You can't have a gun everywhere, but beheading is one of the chief ways of them executing people. We continue to harp, if that is the right word. We continue to talk about Muslim immigration around the world, and we're not going to stop. I seen a story. It was New York City, where there are literally hundreds of mosques where Muslims can go pray. There, how many ever times a day they do that, and they choose to do that in areas that basically block things from happening. Now, I think probably that's going to need to be addressed. They have a right to assemble. They have a right to pray. I don't support them at all, but they do have certain rights. But I don't think 5 times a day, every day, that is a right that we have to, shut places down. And they're coordinated with it. Like I said, they could do that in a mosque. Your mom and I have seen places in hospitals that provide areas for that to take place, mats and things. As a matter of fact, you probably have seen in prison that give, they make that, they have to make accommodations for those things. And then there's stories like this one where horrific things happen. And at what point is Europe, and conversely here in the United States, when is it going to be enough is enough? You got to be smarter than the Muslims give you credit for. They're taking advantage of every loophole that they can. They want to rule the world, people.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
they want to take over the world. That's in the Quran is to take over the world. That's there.
And so I'm going to just say this pretty bluntly. Take your heads out of your hind ends and realize they want you dead. They want everybody that looks like you dead. They want everybody that supports Israel dead. We're the great Satan to them, as well as Israel. What do they call them? Little Satan? Or big something and like little. And no, I don't care how much you want to argue about there being good Muslims. I'll say 100% there are good Muslims. But here's the deal. The good Muslims don't do anything to stop the bad Muslims. If they want to be included in mainstream way of doing things, then they've got to step up, and they won't do it. Susan has got some really good comments going on there about that. Ronnie, I mean, you and I talk about this fairly regular.
Oh, yeah.
Give your piece here.
I agree with everything you said. and like I said before, it's coming to a country near you, and people, unfortunately, I think, because they're in Germany, they're in France, UK, Ireland, they're all over the world, and the problem I'm taking with is we are so whooped and woke and liberal in this country that they're basically going to get to us, and we're going to just open the doors for them. And like you were saying about how special accommodations have to be made. Okay, I get that. Special accommodations are made for those of the Jewish faith and Buddhist and everything else. I get that, but I'm just so afraid that this country is becoming so woke that we're just going to let them take over. Sharia law is going to be okay. The chant after game 1 of the Knicks game the other day, did you see the chant that they're all making a slogan? He's got his mayor's Muslim or something, and he likes his Christian Dior. Biggest city in the world's already got a Muslim mayor. It's they're not going to stop. Read the Quran or read excerpts or search it up. That's what I did the other day, and I thought I saved a picture, but apparently I didn't. But it explains when to kill people and how to kill people, and it's okay to lie, and something's got to be done. Something has to be done all over the world.
Well, I was trying to find, Mary had put in the comments that about, did you see the U.S. has struck Iran? I knew that there were things going on earlier. I didn't know if she meant something currently. You go with your next topic, Ronnie.
Let's see here. I'll play this one.
Tonight, in a stern rebuke to President Trump, the House of Representatives voted to pass a resolution ordering Trump to stop the war with Iran. 4 Republicans joining all Democrats in the symbolic vote, reflecting a growing frustration with the ongoing conflict Congress never authorized. A war which today took a turn for the worse. In the most violent flare-up in weeks, threatening an already shaky U.S.-Iran ceasefire, today Kuwait's main airport took a direct hit from Iranian drones. A terminal caught fire. Flights canceled. Kuwaiti officials say an Indian resident was killed and dozens injured. The U.S. fired on Iran as well, attacking a military installation on an island and turning around and disabling more ships heading to Iranian ports. But late today, President Trump appeared dismissive of Iran's attack, calling it not very strong.
We hit them very hard on something else, unrelated.
So yeah, they voted to stop the war in Iran. So I don't know if we were at a standstill or if we're still going at it until paperwork signed. I don't know what's going on.
Well, here's the deal with that. That is a law. Has to be voted on, and I think it may have passed the Senate as well, but the president has to sign it for it to be a law, and Trump's not going to sign it. We are still attacking. Trump in the last few days has basically said we are giving reciprocal responses. I just heard a person about an hour ago say that's the problem. Everything is reciprocal, and we need to be basically bombing the snot out of them.
Right.
It's a very, very fluid topic still. Actually, I believe it was yesterday, is the claim that Iran shot down a U.S. Apache helicopter near the Strait of Hormuz. Trump said that requires a response. Reporting says the crew was rescued and uninjured, but the incident has already triggered fresh U.S. strikes and new alarm in the region. I mean, prior to that, there was another issue where Israel hit Beirut, prompting Iran to send several missiles toward Israel that the United States and Israel intercepted. I don't believe there was any major damage done to Israel, if any. But another one of the Trump and Bibi Netanyahu disagreements. There's been a couple major ones in the last few days.
I thought I had
And,
deleted a video about that. Yeah, I think I deleted it.
I mean, it's basically moving in two directions, with Trump sometimes talking about a deal while military missiles and strikes and now a helicopter incident keeps dragging the region back toward escalation. We've said this many times. We're like in a holding pattern, and I don't know what that's good for, other than letting Iran reload.
Rebuild. Yeah, exactly.
So to speak.
Rebuild, reassess, reload, rearm. But yeah, Susan, you're absolutely right. Obama did go to war. It did some action without congressional approval, but it was okay for him because the blue D next to his name.
Well, I think all the way back to Clinton, didn't he go to Kosovo? In the same kind of manner. I think it was Clinton in Kosovo.
Bombed the primary school in Lebanon.
You can go back to Reagan and what took place in Panama with Manuel Ortega. I mean, practically every president has had some kind of conflict that wasn't an official war, meaning that it didn't require an act of Congress. Did you have any more Trump and Iran videos to share?
I'm looking through here now. I don't think so. Old ones, but
yeah, this once a week thing is making it a little different to keep things fresh.
Yeah, I think it's all I got.
Okay. Well, another breaking news today is that Congress moved ahead with the roughly $70 billion funding package for ICE and Customs and Border Patrol, and the House narrowly passed it with Republicans driving, of course. The bill is being framed as a major border enforcement win and would fund those agencies through the rest of Trump's term. One of the things that didn't happen was the SAFE Act was not included with that.
Yeah.
Of course, the Democrats had their normal talking points. I think every Republican that voted for this. Let's see, it was something like 214 to 212. Of course, there's several seats that are vacant right now, waiting special elections. And I forget exactly the breakdown, but very narrow. But at least these two parts of government are going to be funded, and the House did what they needed to do.
Right. Speaking of Trump and everything, did you see about the interview that he got up and walked out on?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I did.
I got some on it here.
Do you think it's appropriate that they have an election, and 5 days later, they're nowhere close to picking a
State
winner.
and local officials acknowledge they are slow. They're urging.
No, they're crooked.
They're urging
They're
the
crooked.
votes to be counted quickly. That's how they vote
They're
in
crooked,
California.
just like you're crooked. Your press is crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked.
To be fair, I'm not crooked, but let's
Really?
Let's
Well, you
continue.
play right into their hands. then.
Let's continue.
You're either crooked or you're stupid.
Let's
you play
continue.
right into their hands with this rap. You know that these elections are rigged. Your network knows that they're rigged. You know that I won an election in a landslide, and I got 94% bad press.
But, Mr. President,
you know why I
you've
got
never
that?
presented
Because you have no
evidence.
credibility.
But you've never presented evidence that it was rigged. Let's keep talking about. I want to talk about Todd.
You
Blanche.
have more evidence. There's more evidence than ever presented.
Let's talk
Your
about
elections
You
in
went
this
to
country,
court.
we're like a third world country.
But, sir-
Your elections are crooked, and you're crooked, and
But,
Meet
Mr.
the Press is crooked,
Mr.
and so
President-
is ABC and CBS and CNN.
But, Mr. President-
You're one-sided crooked networks. All right, let's call it quits because I've had enough. Thank you, darling. Have a good
Mr.
time.
President, let's please. I traveled all the way to Wisconsin.
I've sat
I
in
traveled
the rain with
all.
you.
I know. I
I've sat in the
traveled
rain
all the
with
way
you
to
for an hour,
Wisconsin.
on and off in the rain, and I've given you enough time. You ought to straighten out your press because you know what?
Mr.
A
President,
country can never be
We
great
traveled
with a dishonest
Listen,
press.
we
Come on, let's
traveled
go.
all the way to Wisconsin for this interview.
And if you watched right there at the very end, he walked up to her and he kind of just lightly placed his hand on her arm. But she's claiming that he slapped her.
They smacked my arm.
Smacked her. Are you injured right now?
I mean, look, either which way, you don't touch anyone, especially if you don't like what they're
Well, the other thing that happened at the very end, and if I heard about it yesterday, but didn't see, but you could see in this video, he actually stepped on his lapel mic.
Oh, really?
Whether it was intentional or not intentional, that's in the eyes of the beholder, I guess. And if you want to play it again and watch there at the end, you can actually. Did you just delete it?
Yeah.
Well,
I'll pull it up. It'll give me a few minutes, but I'll get it.
yeah,
Maybe.
you can actually hear in the audio the microphone crack, like, something happened to it. I was watching some Fox News last night, and they were making fun of the reporter because she was whining about she came all the way to Wisconsin to interview him. And somebody said, well, guess who else came to Wisconsin? The commander-in-chief was there. So don't act like you did something extremely, extremely important.
Right. It's uploading now. All right, I got it ready.
The line of the entire interview was, "You're either crooked or stupid."
No, I love that part. Here we go.
They smacked my arm.
Smacked her. Are you injured right now?
I mean, look, either which way, you don't touch anyone, especially if you don't like what they're
With his right foot.
Yeah, he took a goofy step or something. Is that where it was?
Yes. Yes. It's possible that he didn't mean to. He's a big man, and I'm sure I don't know his shoe size, but I'm sure he wears fairly big shoes, and could have been an accident.
Oops.
Or maybe not. Keep on rolling.
All right. So this happened a couple of days ago as well. An emergency on the International Space Station.
Station Houston on Space to Ground 2 for all USOS crew members. Need you to execute procedure, EMER procedure 3.4, Crew Dragon establish safe haven. And if we need to suit up, we will do that once we're inside the Dragon. We will not suit up prior.
Houston, station on.
So what they were saying is they wanted all the crew for the International Space Station, which I believe there's 4 Russians, 2 Americans. There's a Russian side and an American side, but they have a life raft, an escape vehicle called Dragon. And they put everybody in Dragon, and they said that if we needed to, we could suit up. But luckily, they didn't need to.
Astronauts on board the International Space Station have been told to shelter in the spacecraft and prepare for possible evacuation. This news is just coming in as a Russian crew is attempting to fix a worsening air leak on Russia's portion of the orbital lab. Now, we know that the ISS is split into 2 sections primarily. There is a US segment, and then there is a Russian orbital segment. This problem, this air leak, is in the Russian side, and we understand that 3 astronauts and 1 Russian cosmonaut got orders from NASA to enter the Crew Dragon spacecraft that's docked with the station and put on their spacesuits in case the leak worsens.
Now, also that night, there was a very large geomagnetic storm from the sun that was shooting geomagnetic radiation towards the Earth, too. So that's awful. That could be scary for the space station or cruising space.
Did you see the Artemis 3 announcement?
Yes, they. I watched it briefly on the White House's TikTok. They announced the crew of Artemis 3 today. It's 4 men, I believe.
It is 1 from Italy, and then I think 3 Americans. I know there's 1 from Italy and 2 Americans for sure. I'm not sure about the 3rd. It was really cool. They were with the crew of Artemis 2.
Yeah.
And they actually had a baton that they passed from Artemis 2 to Artemis 3.
That's awesome. That's cool.
One of them said it was more like an Olympic torch than it was a baton. They made a big deal and said it's a bigger deal than just handing a baton from one to another. It's like, making it that comparing the space program with the Olympics, it's worldwide. And so, that was really some cool stuff.
Yeah. Looking forward to it. Should be next year, I believe. 2027, 2028, maybe.
No, I think it's next year.
Next year,
at least the first part of it. Yeah. They're going to dock with something, and they got to run some practice. That's way over my pay grade. That's for you. That's for you space junkies, you and Susan and Beth and Macbeth.
Yeah, right.
Can't leave her out of that one.
Right.
And leave it to the Brit to talk about World Cup.
I've got something on the World Cup, actually.
Oh, well.
Here we go.
Iran's opening game of this World Cup is here in Los Angeles against New Zealand in just 9 days' time. But it says key members of its managerial, executive and technical staff have been denied visas. The US State Department says all of Iran's players and necessary members of its support squad will be allowed entry. But it also says it is not going to allow Iran to, quote, abuse this system to sneak terrorists into the United States under false pretenses. Now, Iran has described this as whitewashing, and it has called on FIFA to intervene. All of this, of course, comes as the tension between the two sides continues to escalate out there in the Middle East, with America striking a number of Iranian radar facilities along its coastline after Tehran launched one-way attack drones into the Strait of Hormuz. Tehran also firing a number of ballistic missiles at US bases in Kuwait and Bahrain.
So, yeah, I guess they're facing some problems getting the Iranian team in.
Boy, I feel bad for, that's the Iranian people side of it. There have been some Iranian athletes that were actually executed in the recent past, as part of the ongoing horrible actions of the regime there. But it just is interesting to me that we have to worry about them sneaking in terrorists. And it wouldn't be the first time that terrorism came up in a worldwide event. Think back to 72. Well, you don't think back to 72.
Or my time.
But 72 Olympics in Munich, when the PLO murdered numerous Israeli athletes. So, yeah, unfortunately, you have to prepare for those kinds of things. It's the world that we live in. And that is a good comment there. Space, sport, these things should be global union. It's sad. And
Really?
it really should be. Really should be.
Well, this is pretty funny too. The English team is puking from the heat already.
Yeah. It's going to be 90 here tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we're hopefully getting our electric back. We'll have to suffer through tomorrow, but hopefully, dear Lord, please let that happen. We'll get taken care of.
Absolutely.
Well, we would be remiss.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say we would be remiss if we didn't talk California election.
Oh, yeah.
But go ahead with yours before I talk about that.
I saw this and I don't know why it made me laugh as long as it did. It was almost toe-tappingly tragic, but a truck full of fireworks actually caught on fire in Tennessee, and it was a pretty spectacular show. It was almost toe-tappingly tragic, but fortunately no one was hurt.
Well, was that like a dress rehearsal for the 4th or what?
I'm guessing it was just somebody hauling some fireworks and they threw out a lit cigarette or something. And
they got a lot of good old boys down there in Tennessee, and fireworks are pretty easy to come by there. And that was good.
Yeah,
that was good.
So let's talk on the interstate, though, and boom, 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 boom. Free show.
Yeah.
Sorry, your turn.
Can you imagine being on the interstate, sitting there watching that?
Yeah, just free show.
Well, California. See that interview that we showed with Trump? He addressed this in that a little bit, how slow the election count was in California. The mayor's race originally had Spencer Pratt in second place, meaning that he would have been in the runoff. Mysteriously, he got very few votes after that, and the Democratic Socialist came back and got second, and now it's been called. I don't know if Pratt conceded or not, but it's been called that Pratt will finish in third, and thus that eliminates him from anything further. The biggest deal is obviously the governor race, and Steve Hilton is currently in second place. First place is Xavier Becerra, who was in the Biden administration for all 4 years, I believe. I think he was there from the beginning to the end. But not too long ago, people were encouraging him to drop out and weren't including him in debates and things like that. However, they got screwed by their own candidate, Swalwell. Messed things up for the Democrats. So this guy is the next best thing. But now that Hilton will have a few months to campaign, I don't know. He may have a chance. He may have a chance. Or you answer this question. Or will he have no chance with the way elections go in California?
You know, a lot of people were saying the whole Spencer Pratt thing, they've seen that before, and you did. And, you know, the elections, you know, overnight where all of a sudden, you know, the one side gets a whole lot more votes than the other side. And that's exactly what happened to Spencer Pratt. He went to bed. I don't think he was first, but he was pretty close. And then when he woke up, there was 25,000 something votes. I don't think it's ever going to happen in California with elections. I don't think he's got a chance. If I was red and in California, I'd be doing my best to move to a red state because.
Well, and there's tons of people that are doing that, hundreds of thousands. And, you know, the people that stay back, let's see, hundreds of thousands of people taking tax revenue with them is going to mean they need more tax revenue. So the ones that are staying
pay for it,
are going to have to pay.
California's already got one of the highest tax rates in the country.
And yes, it's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember that old Bugs Bunny cartoon where like Bugs Bunny had a map of the United States and he went and he sawed off Florida and kind of kicked it and it went floated away? I wouldn't mind if we did that with California.
Well, they've always joked about, you know, an earthquake in California.
Yeah. I don't want anybody to
Some
die.
people say,
I just want them to go away.
We would give them back to Mexico. Well,
there we go.
you and I would at least.
Yeah.
I don't know about everybody, but you and I. Reply to this.
That happened a lot all over. It was was it Trump Biden? Where
yes,
it hadn't been decided yet. We all went to bed. We woke up the next day, and somehow Biden had more votes than any president in history.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of UFOs that way.
Well, I don't know that there's any such thing as election integrity.
No.
You know, we can say what we want. We can say that so many different lawsuits showed that there was no irregularities, but you will never, ever, ever make me believe that Joe Biden got more votes than anybody in history.
No.
I'm never, you know, I'm not going to say the election was stolen, but how? How did he get more votes than anybody in history during a pandemic?
Right.
You would have thought that there would be less people voting and not record numbers.
Well, no, see, they had the mail-in voting. So, you know, one person would mail in their votes 50, 60 times.
Well, I mean, I get that, but that would be stealing the election.
Yep. Absolutely.
According According to all the lawsuits that were filed, that never happened. The election wasn't stolen. But Susan has something that you say regular up there, and the math don't math.
Yeah, my little girl taught me that one. The math ain't mathing, Daddy.
And it doesn't, and it never will.
No, it won't.
I forget the name of them. If your mom was listening, she would put it in because she really liked it. The Dinesh D'Souza video on those kind of things, using actual video coverage of things like people dumping massive amounts of votes into the voter boxes, so to speak, in different things. So I forget, 1,000 Mules, or it's a really good movie, and it will give you a lot of doubt that the election was fair. What you guys think for UK elections? I'm really not up to snuff on what's going on with the elections in the UK.
I'm not either, unfortunately. I quit caring about elections in UK 250 years ago.
Oh, oh, that is no way to treat our guests in the comment section. Oh my goodness. Let's just sit here. Let's sit here and wait on her reply.
Oh, wait, I got a little red one. Kerry Starmer is a great dude.
Not.
Yeah. Prime Minister?
Oh, maybe.
We need to brush up on UK stuff.
Yeah, we do. We do.
We got a fan from the UK, so we're going to have to. In his mind.
in his mind. There you go. At least she didn't flip you off and say, I'm never coming back.
Susan wouldn't do that. She knows I'm kidding.
Well, let me run down some kind of headlines from the last few days while you get ready to roll with the last bit that you have. Earlier, CENTCOM forces began launching self-defense strikes against Iran at 5 p.m. Eastern today at the Commander-in-Chief's direction. Secretary Kennedy says Health and Human Services has requested a review of allegations involving CARE National Group, CARE. On their page, they call themselves America's largest Muslim civil rights organization. We protect civil rights, enhance understanding of Islam, and promote justice and empower American Muslims. From my knowledge of them, they are basically terrorism supporters. And I hope that if the government is giving them any money, they will find the fraud and stop giving our tax dollars to Muslim terrorists. This is a good one. Dr. Alveda King was on Capitol Hill, and she said the following: I still have a dream. I dream that one day we will move beyond black power and white power and embrace God's power and human dignity. I reject the notion that Americans who hold traditional Christian beliefs should be treated as threats or terrorists simply because we disagree with a prevailing political thought. I dream that Americans will one day see each other not as enemies, but as neighbors. I dream that we will hear each other, see each other, and recognize that every human life has value from the womb to the tomb and beyond. We are, as Scripture teaches, one blood, one human race, and if we remember that truth, we can build a future worthy of the sacrifices made by those who came before us. We must speak out for truth and against forces that would manufacture hate, fear, division, and violence simply to line their pockets and further their political ambitions. God bless America. God bless you. And I believe she's the niece of Martin Luther King Jr. I think he was her uncle. Boy, those are some good words right there.
Absolutely.
On to you.
All right. So one of our favorites, Al Green, is back at it again, and thank God he's almost out of there.
A racist, Mr. Secretary, would do what happened to Ruby.
Are you calling me a racist?
A racist.
I'm asking a question.
Reclaiming my time, ask him to shut up.
That's a pretty.
Shut up.
Shut up.
It's my time.
I'm not going to let anybody call me a racist, Chairman.
I never called him a racist. It's my time.
It is, gentlemen. Will suspend.
He will not.
Suspend.
Tell him to shut up.
It'll, gentlemen, suspend. No, the gentleman will suspend.
Tell him to shut up and all that. Come on, man. Your time's almost up, Al Green.
Yeah. January can't come soon enough for him. I mean, I'm not trying to wish away time. I'm getting old. Time is precious.
Yeah.
But yeah, January can't come soon enough. And we're having a good Mary's helping make up for you in the comment section. She loves London and been there 3 times. So her and Susan are exchanging pleasantries in the comment section. Thank you, Mary, for helping make up for Ronnie's. Keep on rolling.
Oh, let me go back here. So Donald Trump attended the Knicks game 3, and see if you can hear whether more people cheering or more people booing.
I thought great. I mean, I thought it was amazing, actually. You mean when they had the camera on me? I thought it was very good. Yeah. It was certainly amazing. It was. I think mostly cheers. It was loud and it was very enthusiastic.
I heard more boos, but unfortunately, that's the way the world is. I know a lot of people are not happy about him attending that game.
I wasn't watching at that point, so I did. That's the first clip I've seen of that. I think most of the reporting that came out said there were more boos than cheers. I think that would probably be expected at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
I mean, the number of celebrities that were there, I don't know any of their political leanings. Typically,
Mondami was there.
Liberal.
Mondani was there. He said he paid $1,000 for standing room only area. So $1,000 to stand there and watch a basketball game. No thanks.
Well, in the celebrity area, I read where, I don't know if it was for game 3 or something after game 3, but 2 seats went for $1 million.
Wow.
In the celebrity area. I'm not sure how celebrities get their own area and what qualifies them to have their own area.
Right.
But there's some drama building in the playoffs. The Knicks won the first 2 games in San Antonio. Back to Madison Square last night for game 3 that Trump was at. And San Antonio won in the Garden. So all 3 games that have been played, the visiting team has won. That's not a normal way of that happening. Of course, being from Indiana, one of the favorite things to do is hate the Knicks. And, back in the Reggie Miller days, he gave the choke sign to Spike Lee after the Knicks choked during a game. I don't know. It's starting to heat up a little bit with some rougher play, and it's getting interesting.
Good deal. That's pretty much all I got, and my phone is just about dead, so.
Well,
I guess we'll have to continue this on Saturday.
Hopefully, we'll be. I like basketball, Susan. Actually, my sport is baseball. Like basketball a lot. Followed it pretty much my whole life, but baseball is the big one for me. Say goodnight, Ronnie.
Drum Corps International for me. Not everybody thinks we'll be in here.
The plan is to be here Saturday. Last Saturday was just we got our butts kicked for a couple days with the heat, and I just was. I don't think I can do it. So the plan is to be here Saturday. The plan is to be in air conditioning on Saturday and say a prayer for us that things go well. It's been an expensive process for all of us involved. Motels involved, of course, the repair is involved. Eating every meal out involved, and so just say a prayer that this is over with for us after tomorrow. We will keep an eye on things. Who knows what's going to happen in Iran? We're one spark away from being back at full-fledged war. And if you listen to the president, there's a deal ready to be made, just maybe a day or two. You believe that, Ronnie? A day or two?
Maybe 3.
Maybe 3. Well, we love all of you guys. Thank you for being with us. And until we see you again, go out and do the right thing.
Ronnie, red, white, and true, baby. Listen up. Ed leans back in his John Deere cap. Says I don't chase clicks, I just chase facts. Got a Bible by the mic, small town on his back. Reads every line before he hits that track. Ronnie in the booth with a notepad full. Cross on his chain, hard, humble, but full. We ain't here to judge, just talk what's real. Taste every word before we serve that meal. Red, white, and true. We stand on what we do. Gotta taste your words before you say them. Cause the truth cuts clean when you lay it. Red, white, and true. We pray on what we choose. If it don't line up with his view, we don't spread it. Red, white, and true. Scrolling that feed, everybody want flame. Pointing at a headline, never read a whole page. It says slow down, son, check that source. Every tongue got power. Pick your course. Ronnie takes a breath, says a quiet prayer. Lord, guard my mouth, let me keep it fair. We talk faith, talk flash, talk the hard news too. But we weigh each word like it's aimed at you. Hey, hey, red, white, and true. We stand on what we do. Gotta taste your word before you say them. Cause the truth cuts clean when you lay it. Red, white, and true. We pray on what we choose. If it don't line up with his view, we don't spread it. trip.